Is up, everybody? Welcome to day 5, Friday. So hope you guys had a great week this week. I've been really enjoying coming live and preparing for you, and especially today. It's a super exciting time for me and for what we're doing over here. And today, what I want to talk about is a little word called adapt. You can say adaptation, whatever that looks like. And if you guys remember back on Monday, we went over 5 things, in a changing environment. And one of those was adapt, adopt, and flourish, right? That we have to have the ability to adapt to the changing environment. Then we have to adopt the new ways, the new things, the new normal, what's going on in the world. And when we adapt to adopt the new way, we have the opportunity to flourish. And each and every one of you has that opportunity. Every single one of you has it inside of you, right? If you can think now to a time in your life when you actually overcame an obstacle. Maybe there was something in your life. Maybe it was, in your business or in a relationship or whatever that is in your life. If you think back to a time, maybe you were a kid and something happened. Maybe there was a trauma and you had to dig deep. You had to find a way to get through it. Everybody has had that time. Everybody has had that happen, right? Well, all of those strengths, think about now those strengths that you had to acquire or possess to get through that. Well, all of those strengths you get to call on, all those things you get to call on right now in your life. All the different times in your life where you've had some struggle, right? And you haven't made it through, and then you've had to adapt. You had to adopt, you had to work harder, you had to do something, you had to overcome. And now you're there and you have this opportunity. You have those strengths built inside of you to get through anything, or at least show you that is a possibility, right? So today we're going to talk about adapt, right? We're going to go deeper into what that looks like, and it opens with this simply, right? It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent. It is the most adaptable to change. Charles Darwin, years and years and years ago, right? Because like it or not, everything has an evolution, and evolution is about adaptation. Think about it. Think about 10 years ago. The internet wasn't nearly what it is today, right? Think about 10 years before that. iPhones and all that kind of stuff. We constantly have to adapt to change. You think today, there are very few that are surviving without some kind of cell phone or some cell device. Very few. We've had to adapt to the new normal, and we've had to use it, right? We've had to adapt to it. We've had to adopt the usage so that we can flourish in our lives. Because evolution is about adaptation, because change is inevitable. Growth is optional, especially as systems become increasingly complex. Like our world today, the global world today has changed. A week or 2 weeks ago, it has completely changed. But those who know how to adapt to change are the ones who can thrive in any condition. Because adaptation is about mindfulness, and mindfulness to context, to learning, and your psychological flexibility. If you're too rigid and you're looking at things the way you want them to be, and it's not that way, and you're not adaptable to change, you're going to be in trouble, right? But even more importantly is, listen, it's how fast can you learn new things as the environment continues to change. That's what's happening to us right now. How can you be your optimal self as this environment starts to change? But more importantly, how can you implement what you've learned? It's not just about learning. It's about the adaptation, and it's about implementing what you've learned. It's not just about having the knowledge. It's about applied knowledge, right? Again, you can't adapt well if you're too caught up in how you think things are or must be. Because listen, humans are genetically designed to adapt to our environment. We are genetically designed to adapt to the environment. Do not take this lightly. Environment matters. What you consume matters. What you listen to matters. The people you talk to matters. All of these things absolutely positively matter, right? Consumption is not just about the food you eat. Consumption is about the people you're around. It's about the things that you're reading. It's about the things that you're listening to. It's about the things that you're following. It's all of it together, right? As you evolve, our perspectives start to change. This includes your view of yourself. You see, your former self saw the world differently than you see it today, for sure. Your future self will see it differently than you see it right now. And hopefully your future self will see things a little bit better, right? They'll see it a little bit better. They'll be able to view it and see a better way. But you aren't the same person as your future self. They will have different contexts and a different perspective. But hopefully we'll be more mature, right? We'll grow out of some of those bad choices. And hopefully we'll have a clearer and better priorities and more confidence to powerfully live out those priorities. Because that's the thing that happens the most to us is we don't get clear on what the priorities are, and then we're not confident in actually living to those priorities. That's the difference. So you need to be flexible in your own identity, but you need to hold fast to your visions and values. And listen, y'all, I'm telling you this, it is your responsibility to control your thoughts. Even though the world is changing, you still have huge control over your personal context, thoughts, and behaviors. You have control over what you focus on and what you remain strategically ignorant of. Strategically, you can be ignorant of things on purpose because there's so much misinformation today. There's so much fake news that we have to be very careful on what we consume and how we use it. But you need to be flexible, particularly to the emotions you're going to experience and the distractions you'll face. This is a new environment filled with new challenges. But listen, you can remain focused and committed. You must be adaptive to what's going on. But remember this, if you get anything out of today, please, your focus determines your reality. Say it again. Your focus determines your reality. It's not the other way around. It's not like I go get reality and then let me get focused on something. It's not how it works. Your focus will determine your reality. So ask yourself, look at your day today. What are you focused on? What were you focused on? And what happened today? What'd you get out of today? Ask yourself those questions and be honest with yourself because that's where your optimal self lives. The best version of you lives in those tough questions, lives in that tough environment, asking yourself, challenging yourself. Because your life is a direct reflection of the questions you ask, whether that's silently or out loud. All right? So listen, today, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write out what you focused on, or better yet, even for tomorrow, write out what you will focus on, right? And then we're going to use I am and I will statements, right? Very powerful statements to control the context and build your identity. So I am whatever it is you want to focus on today. And if it's a task, I will do the task. Not maybes, not tries, right? I am and I will statements. Write it out. If you do this, if you can take yourself in and you can start to ask yourself those powerful questions, if you can daily determine what you're going to focus on, you can change your reality right now. You can have that life that you deserve. And I said it, you deserve it. I mean that. Every single one of you deserves this amazing life. And you're powerful and you're strong and you are enough just as you are now. Who you are today is enough. But we've got to believe it and we got to get our focus right. So create some I wills, create some I am statements. And let's take those statements and build a powerful identity for you to be the best version of you. All right? Now's the time. No better time than the present. to turn that thing on, to turn on that you, to build that identity, to adapt, adopt, so that you can flourish as these ever-changing times happen. All right. Again, man, thank you for watching. Thanks for coming around. Please comment. Please let me know what you think, because I really, really want to help you guys. I really want you guys to get the most of this. I really want to help you build the best version of you, not somebody else, not what somebody else's version is. I want you to have the opportunities to truly build the best version of you, be your optimal self. You guys have an awesome night. Have a great weekend. And I look forward to seeing you next week. All right. Take care.